I started Cupcakes and Cashmere 10 years ago, which is insane because it was merely a hobby, something that would kind of pass the time because I was pretty bored at my day job. G had a blog that he was working on called About Scotch, and it was literally just about Scotch. And I thought, what if I could write about things that I loved, but not just about one topic? I wanted to write about both fashion and food, which is where I came up with the alliterative title that I felt like people would kind of resonate with, Cupcakes and Cashmere. I've had this idea that I needed to write at least one post every single day of the work week. It was really just something that I wanted to commit to and stick with it. Over time, I started getting readers, which I didn't understand. I was like, where do you guys even come from? How did they find out about me? I started getting comments. It was really gradual. This has been a decade of me doing this. It was not an overnight sensation by any stretch of the imagination. I was still working my day job at AOL, and this comment came in. She was basically like, you have slutty eyebrows. And I was like, oh my God, she doesn't even know me. How does she know my eyebrows are slutty? I was like calling my mom, and I was like, I don't really know what to do. Maybe I should just stop right now. Obviously, I'm now very well versed in just the internet and how it all works. Ever since then, I've just come to love my slutty eyebrows. It was one of the scariest decisions I ever made, leaving my full-time job. I think my parents thought I was totally bananas. Looking back, I totally understand because I was just kind of leaving this stable income, a 9-to-5. There were days where I wouldn't have a post lined up until 10 p.m. the night before a post was going live. When I was starting this, I was only 24, and I had a very distinct style, but it's really kind of simplified over the years. There are so many posts that I look back on now, I'm like, oh wow, that's a really special combo. It's fun to look back on, and something that eventually I look forward to going over with Sloan and being like, neon beanies were a thing, let me tell you. I designed a bag for Coach. I found out I was going to New York and had to have ideas for what this bag was going to look like. And the night before I was supposed to leave, I was throwing up all night long and had told, pretty much everyone. I told G, my parents. I thought I had the flu. They were all very convinced that it was complete anxiety, and I was petrified. I felt like I was in over my head. I didn't know what I was doing. They basically forced me on that plane, and it was the single most important decision I've ever made. That collaboration really helped launch what Cupcakes and Cashmere is today. There are so many wonderful things that have come from starting this brand, and I would say the single most important thing for me are the connections that I've made, this incredible community of women. I've had the opportunity to meet some of these readers. One in particular, Lisa, that I met her at a book signing in Seattle a few years ago, and she's a cancer survivor, and we speak pretty much on a daily or weekly basis at this point. I felt an immediate connection to her, and for a recent screening that she went to, she's still in remission, she brought my Cupcakes and Cashmere for Coach bag with her as a good luck charm. That to me is what it's all about. Yes, we're talking about fun, oftentimes trivial things, but the connections that I've made with these women and the fact that I'm such an important part of their lives and vice versa is just really incredible. Once I came out with my books, I realized there was an opportunity to grow something beyond just the blog and the books. I wanted to build a business. And so it was really important at that point to bring on help. Jeffrey was my first official hire and is the president of the company, and he's been integral to the success and kind of where we've gone since then. We've had multiple other employees since then, and that's really been kind of a game changer in terms of taking our kind of business to the next level. Launching my clothing line was the moment that I realized just kind of how big this could all be. Walking into Nordstrom that first time, they were our exclusive partners when we launched, was pretty surreal. I had been to Nordstrom since I was 3 years old, and so seeing Cupcakes and Cashmere so prominent there was very amazing. I've always been a big believer in having a diary or a journal of some sort. It's never really something that I was able to commit to fully. So this is kind of my version of it, and that it's all documented, and I can look back at when G and I first moved in together, when we got engaged, how we got married, buying our first home, having Sloan, all of these really big moments. And in a way, I feel like I've really grown up with my readers. This has been a decade of kind of sharing things with people and them, adding their own anecdotes about their own lives. And that's been one of, I think, the most rewarding parts of all of this. I never in my wildest dreams could have thought it could turn into this brand, into this business, and it's still pretty wild to me. I am so humbled and appreciative of all of the support that you have given me over the last 10 years. You guys are the best readers a girl could ask for, and I'm just so appreciative of everything, and thank you for coming along with me on this journey.